Some sailors chase bigger boats. Others figure out how to go further in smaller ones. Today's guest is Eric Dahlkamp. He's done the Texas 200 multiple times, taken on the Everglades Challenge, and built some seriously interesting boats along the way. Lately, he's been turning an OD-19 into a capable camp cruiser. This one's all about boats, miles, and figuring out what really works. Hi, Eric. Like I've said, I've been following you for years. I know you've done the Texas 200 multiple times. You've chased some pretty interesting ideas. So first, I want to ask, what keeps pulling you back to this style of sailing expedition and challenges?
I'd have to say the pulling back is probably not the right phrase.
Okay.
I'm in my groove. I'm already there.
All right, right.
And I'm just staying there. In fact, when I was very, very young, I mentioned this to you when we were talking. I lived out in Angola.
Right.
And my father was almost a John Wayne type individual. Just go for it, son.
Right.
You know,
nice.
Parental neglect gave us a lot of experience.
Right.
And we didn't know what a life this was.
Right.
You know, and we had a little 12-foot flat boat, flat bottom wooden skiff. My brother, 3 years older, and a friend of his. We were foreigners, of course, living in a Portuguese country, but we just fitted right in, blended right in, and we took that little boat all over the place. And I guess I'm just, as I get older, trying to relive my youth, honestly.
Right.
Because those experiences out there, a lagoon called Musulu, which is south of Luanda, you can't imagine. This was 1950s, 60s, 70s. Primitive beyond words. You look at it now on Google Earth, it is built up. There are all kinds of it seems like residential areas. Probably the rich have vacation homes there. But in our day, there was nothing.
Right.
Except a few villages of native African fishermen who used dugout canoes, and their wives were bare-breasted. They wore loincloths, and they lived in grass huts in villages, usually circular. And they lived a very primitive beach-going life. And we were in that area, and helped them at night with their nets and enjoyed their company. And, of course, fortunately, that we all spoke Portuguese. So I'm trying to relive those days of an absolute adventure. You can't believe my mother would drop us off, me and my brother, and literally we'd have garrafões, which are glass jars covered in wicker with water. And that was it, garrafões, and maybe some bread and something else. But we lived off that land. You know, we ate octopus and the fish we caught and crab. And she would say, see you in 3 or 4 days. No phones in those days, remember?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
We just showed up at a beach, which we arranged we would be at. I can't believe those days. Well, that's it. That's what caused me back.
Nice.
When I came to America, I discovered it was very tame. Everything is safety regulated, and everything is organized, and everything is specific and time punctual, and not us. That's not my life. So I really enjoy solo sailing.
Yes, right.
For that reason. I can just be in my own head.
Right. Yeah. You kind of answered a question. I was going to ask you how you started and all that. So that's fantastic.
Oh, excuse me.
No, it's perfect. That's great. That's how you started. And I think you say, you're reliving your youth, but I think it's also keeping you young, isn't it?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, people my age, I'm 76, generally speaking, aren't quite as limber or quite as active as I am. Right. And a lot of that has to do with the building aspect, which is quite physical. And I don't get to sail much. I'm landlocked in Utah, of all places now.
Right.
But the building and the activity that I've had in my prior life has kept me young. But you asked about where I started. Let me really tell you where I started.
Let's
okay?
go for that.
I was a little boy. Just imagine this: a little kid out on those beaches, pristine, nobody in sight. And my dream was to sail. And I had no boat, and I was too little, so I'd find cuttlefish, bones, and I'd stick feathers in them. And I learned about going upwind with those. And they could tack pretty darn good. The wind was perfectly steady in the doldrums, perfectly steady, at a perfect amount of wind for those little boats. And I could watch how they go through waves, and I could watch how and I just go along with them, just entranced by their movement. And then I would take coconut husks, half coconut husks, and drill down in them a little bit. Whatever the flotsam and jetsam on high tide is what I'd use.
Right.
And I'd find plastic, I'd find wood, and I'd make square sails.
Right.
And I'd downwind, and I understood broad reaching from that. And these things were lumbering caravels, in my mind.
Right.
And then the fast ones, I ended up making multi-hulls out of coconut spades, I believe they're called.
Okay.
It's the long, thin thing that grows on a coconut
Right.
bunch.
Right.
And that would allow you to have a very fast boat. And in order to get direction, I'd always look around until I found a tin can. And then I'd take the lid and break it off, and that would be my rudder or my foil. Anyway.
Unbelievable.
That's
Wonderful
where
way.
That's where I learned points of sail and wave action and those kinds of things, which frankly is all there is to it.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. It's like, playing in your own tank and testing things, right? That's amazing. That's a great way to learn. What a great way to learn, right? So
yeah. Anyway, excuse me going off on a tangent.
No, I love it. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. That's a great way to learn and experiment. And tell me about some of your boats. I know about. Okay, I'll tell you about my favorite. I've seen some of your boats. My favorite, and I guess I'll ask the Squirt. Squirt looks like an amazing boat, and I don't understand why you got rid of that. So first of all, for everybody that doesn't know, tell us what Squirt was.
Squirt was started as a snark, a foam snark, and these were production boats that Sears and Roebuck made years ago, and they had little. Some of them had lantern sails. My particular one had a Bermuda capped sail with a tall mast. And it was a little foam, 11.5-foot thing. My goodness, the gunnels, I think, are all 7 inches, 8 inches. And you sit at the bottom and rinky-dink. But they will not sink. And back when they were produced, they were just a kid's delight.
Right.
Well, I got one when I was much older. I mean, this has been a while ago now. But it took about 5 years off and on, because I had another boat and I did other things with that other boat in the meantime. But I took about 5 years and I converted that foam hull into a trimaran, added, what did I add? 2-3 foot?
Yeah, it was 13 feet, I think, right?
It ended up being 13.
Okay.
And then I added a swallowtail because I did not like the wake. And I added a swallowtail and that cleaned up that wake beautifully. And this boat was overweight for its size, but it was full foam, and every build-on I did was foam, and including the amas, they were foam. The akas were aluminum. And then I had a laser sail, which modified so that it could reef with a zipper in it. And I had a bowsprit, and I had 2 foresails on it, 2 jibs. That puppy did the Texas 200 in its sleep.
Right.
It was tiny, but you could carry, because it was all foam, you could carry the week's worth of water, the week's worth of gear, and still have enough and different types of seating arrangements, because my hips, I do not like sitting in line like the Hobie TIs and so forth.
Right.
But I had bench seats on that thing, and I could sit down inside if I needed to on a little seat that I had arranged, and that thing was marvelous. There was no shade, so I used an umbrella.
Right.
And a high wind golf umbrella are wonderful on those expedition trips.
Yeah.
And that thing, I don't have any idea how fast she went.
She went fast, though. She
very
went fast.
I would
And
say
she
very
took a
hot.
licking, a lot of wind too.
Oh, phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
That boat, I could relax in it and just let the thing go. Now it's off-wind sailing. And yet she could point. She could point like a banshee.
Yeah.
And she had a lee board, which was a Hobie Tiger lee board, dagger board, which I adapted for a lee board. So the foils were gorgeous. And everything about under the water is just as important about what's on top of the water, right?
Right.
So the foils were beautiful. And being a little heavier, she punched through chalk, which is a big deal for a small boat.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the reason I got rid of her was a sad story. Very, very sad story. So I go on the Texas 200 on occasion because, first off, the budget is an issue. Second off, I'm always building. I have to wait for it to be finished.
We'll get to that, yes.
Yeah, so anyway, the point being that I'd finished the boat and I'd been on one before, the year before on it, and I came back and tweaked it some more and was really ready to go. And my dog wasn't feeling well. We always had dogs. And this dog was a Pomeranian. Well, he was a Spitz. And he's just a darling. And he glued himself to me. His name was Chance.
Right.
And I had saved him from another family that basically gave him to me because they weren't caring for him. He'd been with me 6 or 7 years now. And I called him One Man Chance.
One Man Chance. That's right. I saw that.
One person.
Yeah.
And that was me. And I was leaving him, abandoning him for another 2-3 weeks or whatever it is. And he wasn't feeling well. Well, it took me, a while to get down there. And then there's the launch. And then on the first night, camp night, my wife had to have him put down. He had respiratory infection.
Sad. Very sad.
And that respiratory infection just got the better of him. And she had to put him down.
Right.
And I felt so bad. I can't tell you. I was destroyed.
Right.
Not there for my dog. And that was the first night. Now I still had 4 or 5 days to go. Mm-hmm. And I got through it, but it wasn't joyful. I love sailing, but I couldn't deal with the fact that I hadn't been there. So when I got home, I gave it not much thought. It didn't take much thought. My boat squirt has to go. It was the boat's fault, right?
Bad memories. I guess bad memories on there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't do it again. So I sold her, and then in that same iteration, I always say, well, what's next? And I found
So yeah, tell me about your boat. So I think the first that I saw in your videos was the Cross. Was that a Cross 18?
Oh, Crosswinds. It's a Cross 18. So Norman Cross was a wonderful 60s multi-hull designer, home build multi-hull designer.
Right.
Norman Cross. And I, as a young man out in Hawaii, had seen a Norman Cross 18 sail plan on a piece of paper. And I said, that boat has got my eye. And for some reason, it always was there as an interesting boat for me. Well, I decided I was going to build it. Well, I was able, he had died, Norman had died, but his wife had sold the business and all the plans to a fellow who, for a time, offered them. And I bought a set of 18 plans and was going to start building. And would you believe, the week before I went out to buy my materials, I saw one on Craigslist in New Jersey. I live in Utah. And this thing was phenomenal.
It's better to drive than to build. I've said that to people.
I could never have built it that perfection. The man had taken, interestingly, 20 years to build it. Wow. And he had built it over time in his front room. And he had now died. In fact, he sailed it once because when he launched it, his wife got sick and he parked the boat. And for 6 years, he tended to her and that boat never saw the water again.
Oh, wow.
And so his son was selling it, didn't know what it was or what it was worth or anything. So I drove over there and bought this sight unseen, one little teeny thumbnail picture of it. And it was beautifully built with all the best materials. And I brought it home and started tweaking it.
Right.
But he did the same thing I did. He couldn't sail the thing after his wife died. So
Right.
he died fairly shortly thereafter. So I ended up with a Cross 18, and that boat became I think I had it 12 years, and modified that thing dramatically to the point where it could handle anything. And it went on a couple of Texas 200s and handled all kinds of wind, and was faster than you can imagine. Of course, it was still an old boat, and it wasn't modern, multi-hull shapes at all. But for me, it was like reliving that dream out in Hawaii. I found one, and all I had to do was add stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun, and she had it all. I mean, she was the best sails and the best foils and gorgeous shade, bimini, the works. I slept on her. And I took my grandson, who was 12 at the time. I took him on a trip down to Texas. We did the 200 together, and he turned out to be the finest helmsman without any training or knowledge that I've ever in my life encountered. It skipped a generation. My son wanted nothing to do with sailing. My grandson, he's avid, not sailor, but avid ocean man.
Right.
He just came back from Antarctica.
Oh, wow.
Just a phenomenal young man in his late teens,
Nice.
doing some amazing things. But I like to think I started him,
There you go. Yeah.
I built him a little tiny rowboat when he was 6 years old,
Nice.
and 7-foot rowboat. And then when he was 9, I extended it to 9 foot. And when he was 12, I extended it to 11 foot.
Okay.
And 3 extensions.
Right.
And so he grew older, and he loved that thing. And I have it now. I've made it a 14-foot double ender. It's in my backyard.
That's a good problem. And now you have, I believe it's a No-Day 19 as a camp cruiser?
No, it's actually a O-Day day sailor, which they are 16'7". They call them 17-footers.
Okay.
I believe it's 16'7" or 16'9", something like that. But they are day sailors, true day sailors. No accommodation. They have a little cuddy, which is primarily for throwing a few things in, because they encumber them with all of their centerboard pennant pulleys and uphauls and downhauls, and all going into that little teeny cuddy and destroying the fact that there's any space there at all. So I ripped all that. Anyway, a lot of modifications later.
Yeah.
She can now take me and another person on the 200. But still, the cabin's tiny. It's only big enough for one person to even get in and to lay down and sleep in.
Yeah.
But that boat has been completely redone.
I know. I've seen it. It looks freaking brand new.
It doesn't. It's not even a day sailor. I don't know what it is. It's a camp cruiser. And interestingly, I've called it the Spirit of Chance.
I saw that.
In memory of my dog.
That's correct.
And I have a Burgee with his face on it.
You made a beautiful Burgee, actually. It's gorgeous.
In his memory, so I have no guilt whatsoever now.
Tell us about your experience with the Texas 200, right?
You've
done it multiple times, and let's talk about the first versus other ones. So the Texas 200, as you know, has got a very fierce reputation for eating first-timers, really. So.
Oh, it does. It does. And primarily because they're not ready. It's not that it's not doable. But, and it can throw curveballs. Absolutely. It can surprise anybody. It can surprise anybody.
Right.
But it's shallow water. It's murky water. So you can't. So if you're used to what I was in Africa or the Great Lakes, for heaven's sakes, clear as a bell, you're going to be disappointed. It is murky. You cannot tell. You cannot see. There are spots here and there you get a glimpse, but you know how you read water and you read depths. None of that. So you don't realize, other than the fact that you've got GPS and fishing maps and various odds and ends, how shallow that is.
Right.
And the other thing I was so surprised at was you're out there and it's multiple day, and there are full days on end, portions of days on end, where you don't see land. And you ask yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm only a few miles. What's going on? Well, it's so flat,
And land is so low.
There's nothing standing up for you to catch sight of anything. So you can really get a feel of being in the middle of nowhere, and it is in the middle of nowhere, many parts of it. So when I was working, I worked for the federal government as an administrative officer, and those are the guys that take care of everything no one else wants to do. So you're just busier than a one-arm, wallpaper hanger. You just can't manage the load. You have a lot of people working for you and with you, but I could never get away. And particularly in the middle of summer, I worked for land management outfits, both Forest Service and BLM. And summer was the firefighting, was the project time, and there's no way I could get away. Right. So until I retired, I couldn't go. So at 60, let's see, my first one was a few years after I retired because I got crosswinds ready for it, and went down there and did it with my brother. Right. And the first thing that happened was I got heat stroke. I forgot that heat, it will kill you. And coming out of a high mountain environment in Utah in June down to Texas Gulf, it was like a brick. And I just went ahead and worked on my boat, got it ready to go, and had to recover. Took a full day to recover, in air conditioning and damp cloths and cold showers. But I did and enjoyed it and finished it. The second one I went was the following year. Took my grandson, also on crosswinds, and he got the benefit of top speed, 17 plus almost 18 knots, which was just a blast. And
on the boat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was a third reef.
Oh, wow.
Third reef. So there's a lot of wind. Yeah. That's why I go. I love wind. I fell in love with wind in Cape Town, where I went to school. And wind is, I love wind. And it does not freak me out. It does not bother me. I know how to handle it. I will say, and I have admitted I've been a little scared on that adventure once in a while, because you are on your own. Right. And it's getting dark and you don't see anywhere to stop, and you can't go in the pitch black in that environment. So, yeah, I managed to find places a couple of times, which is just last minute, pull in onto some desolate little spot, island. But the 200 is an adventure. It's not quite as formidable as the Everglades Challenge. It's not a race. Right. You just go until a camp, if you can make it, and then the next day there's another long haul to the next camp, and it's just go with a stop on shore every night, which makes it nice. Right. It's not Everglades, which is continuous on your boat forever, unless you do choose to stop, put up a tent, and rest. Yeah. This you do get a chance to rest every night. I love the heck out of it. And then I took a break, tried to do the Everglades Challenge, and drove from Utah to Tampa, and got food poisoning on the first day. Wow. Me and my partner had to pull out after 45 miles sailed. That's a
different reason for a DNF. Food poisoning. That's a new one.
Terrible.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
It was so bad and the cramps were so bad that when I got back, I had to have double hernia surgery.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it just tore me up.
Wow.
Tore me up. It was so incredibly violent.
Oh, wow.
That and I was moaning, and he thought maybe the Coast Guard was necessary, and fortunately he didn't do that. And we got ashore, and it slowly subsided, and the next day I could barely walk, but I wondered why I could barely walk. And when I got home and went to a doctor, he says, well, you're going to have double hernia surgery tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
my God.
But I love the heck out of that experience.
Right.
And then I tried to go on the Texas 200 in 2019 and got as far as San Antonio and got vertigo. I'd never had vertigo before, and this was distressing beyond anything I'd ever experienced.
Oh, that's strange, huh?
Terrible vertigo. And I recovered enough to drive home. That was the end of that.
Yeah.
And then I went in 22 and 23, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm all set. Got a new boat. Going to have a blast, and got my health, and just fingers crossed,
Absolutely.
Have to buy new tires for my car. That's about it. That's left.
So tell us about some of the experience everybody wants to know. What matters out there? What do people overthink? And how do you get prepared for the Texas 200? Yeah.
What matters is your trailer, number one. You've got to get there.
Yes.
Huge. We always lose a number of people to
issues.
To trailers that have been ignored. So that's one. Your boat has to be bulletproof in a couple of areas, particularly anything sticking out underwater. Your rudder primarily.
Because you don't see anything, you don't know what you're going to hit. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and boy, you do. But folks do repeatedly ground out on the on their bottoms of their boats, not just their foils, on the bottoms of their boats, and have heck of time getting off. I have never. I'm a contender that if you do your preparation and watch where you are, you really shouldn't be running aground that often. Maybe once in a while. I've scraped my foils once in a while, but they kick up and you get them back down because it is shallow. And so your rudder, your foils, your
so they need to be kick up rudders. And
absolutely. They have to be pick up, and a lot of boats use lee boards, which are marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
They really do fine. They work very well. They allow the center of the boat to be free, unencumbered, or offset centerboards. Anyway, so your foils are important. Your standing rigging is absolutely important, and your ability to reef and to reef on the fly and reef deep. The point is, I carry 3 reefs usually. I've only got 2 on this boat, but my second reef on this boat is the equivalent of a 3rd reef. So you should be able to get your sails down to 1/3 of their full sail capacity in your reefing. And so your foresail has to have something, either a furler or jiffy, haul down, some system to get that thing down in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then your other issues are water, dehydration,
right,
sun exposure, heat, cumulative exhaustion, and frankly, inattention to routing, to where you do find yourself headed in a direction that puts you up on a reef or puts you on a mud bank or puts you in jeopardy. And when the wind is blowing, which it does regularly, it builds in the day. And by the afternoon, you can be up in the 25 knot, 30 knot even.
Wow.
Often. Mm-hmm. And there have been times where it's been doldrum and just nothing, but the typical is a good blow and a good blow by afternoon. Mm-hmm. And so when you go in those speeds with the boat loaded down, and a lot of them use production boats, which are heavy to start with, and some have shoal keels, and you hit a reef or a mud bank, you're not going to get off.
No.
Not easily, No. So catching is, you got to teach yourself how to catch. How do you get an anchor out there and pull yourself off solo? There's no one going to help you. And if they do, you're jeopardizing their ability to make it where they're trying to go. And so you have to be totally self-sufficient.
Right.
Totally self-sufficient. And that includes first aid. To the extent that we've had serious things like rattlesnake bite, where he didn't tend to it over a couple of days, and Coast Guard had to come get him. We've had infections, so there is a bacteria in that water that will literally eat your flesh if you don't keep yourself clean.
You're not selling this.
No, there's stuff.
Right.
There's blowing sand. There's mud. There are spots the second night we're going to camp at a place, we are going to camp. I don't know that I like that place, and I always try and bypass it and find somewhere else. Because when you get out of your boat, if you step wrong, you're up to your knee or thigh in mud.
Right.
And it's sucking mud. You can't get your leg out. You have to lay down in it to get out. It's just horrific, you know?
Oh, my God.
I hate it. And which usually just up to your ankles, which is bad enough, but I hate that. But once you're on the land, if you can get there, you know, you're good. So jumping off the bow is a smart thing, and running your boat right aground. You have to be prepared to change your plan, because the chances are something's going to go wrong. I lost a rudder, for instance, through metal fatigue on crosswinds. My lower pintle broke off, and my rudder was hanging on by the upper, and I had to dismount it. So I had no rudder, and I had a day and a half to go. Well, fortunately, I had a wonderful it was the old 2-horsepower Honda air-cooled, and that thing took me home. I used the jib and the motor, but I had no rudder, and those things will happen, but worse things will happen, to the extent that you got to be self-rescue. Yeah. And it might be 40, 50 miles to go just that day. You know? Right. And then there's another day.
Right.
So, you know, be aware that there are a number of surprises waiting anyone who hasn't done it before. But once you've done it, once you've seen it, it becomes a cakewalk. Frankly, you know what's coming. You remember that turn. You remember what that looks like. You remember what channel to take, and you're good. And it is at the beginning. It's 2 long days of running off wind, and then you start to curve a little north, and you get into Corpus Christi area, which is very crowded and busy in some ways with barges and ship traffic, and you get through all that, and then you get out into some open bays that are literally no land in sight, and glorious sailing. Glorious.
Nice.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you definitely did. And tell us about the good moments, you know.
Well, you know, geez, I can't speak highly enough. First, the people. The people.
I was going to say, I'm sure it's the people. It's one of them. I keep hearing that.
I try and stay away from as much as possible from that.
I somehow doubt it.
On 2 occasions, I have, because of happenstance and issues, I have stayed at only one of the 4 or 5 camps that they have. And these are primitive camps. There's nothing there, so don't think that they're, you know, bungalows and stuff. Nothing. There's nothing. So I didn't make it to where they were. So I'm off on my own. And so, but the people are wonderful. They're helpful beyond your wildest expectations. The boats themselves, I'm a boat person, a fanatical small boat person in terms of just being in love with the concept of small boats. Many of them are home built. Mm-hmm. And in the early days of the Texas 200, they were all home built. And
there was this guy famous dude that built it on the beach and left, right? I forget.
Yes, and burnt it. And when he finished,
he burnt it. That's right.
When it finished, yeah.
Yeah.
So it had one of the reasons he burnt it was literally coming apart.
Yes. It makes for a good story too.
Yeah. So it was pink, which is beautiful. Yeah. So what a story! But those home builds, a lot of them are Michalaks and some Bolgers.
Yeah.
Wellsford boats, Storer boats.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, and they range.
A lot of PDRs too. I think.
You know,
or they used to be.
Used to be. Right. So the crowd in the Texas 200 who initiated it in 2008 has got older, right. And there was a year, and I believe it was 13, where they had many PDRs. I forget how many puddle ducks, but it was a fundraising adventure, and they all were yellow sails,
yes.
And they had an experience that you can't even begin to imagine. You know, 8-foot boat, 200 plus miles, and those conditions, they did very well. The only problem was they were built very quickly, and all their rudders pretty much fell off. They had to repair their rudders along the way, you know. But so this year, there are some very small boats. I'm surprised. And I wonder whether they know what they're doing or that's all they have. Because in the past, they certainly knew what they were doing, and it's also all they had, and they did it. But some of these boats, they'll get up to 26 foot, now, and production things. And it's a different world on a boat that size. A friend of mine is bringing a GIS, Goat Island skiff he did last year. The first time comes from California. He'll be docking right there with me. And that's a fast little puppy. And I even noticed that there was a pickup pram, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
A pickup pram.
Yes.
That is tiny.
That's tiny. Absolutely.
That's tiny.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Squirt was tiny.
Yes.
And people didn't realize it. They'd come over and look at it and say, oh, my goodness, that's small. 13 foot. Yes, it was wide, 10.5 feet with its armors, but she was tiny. What was it? 36 inches across on the Vaca.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the boats are wonderful to look at. Some people have built some wonderful boats, and you'll enjoy that. In fact, if you do have a chance to come. Yeah. So here's the deal. I was thinking about this. I thought, oh my Lord, this guy runs a podcast. He'd have a podcast a day. You'd be amazed who you're going to meet in their boats.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people do videos of other people's boats, so that they can promote not just their
kind
site,
of show what's going on,
but show what's going on. And so they do walkthroughs, and I've seen some wonderful walkthroughs of other people's boats by friends of theirs. As I say, a lot of production craft, but that's fine too.
Yeah.
I went that way.
Well, let's talk about the production craft too. What's the ones you see out there? Because it's not just home builds.
Yeah. So
I know there's spotters 15s. I've seen it. So
yes, there have, and they surprisingly do fairly well. It's a lot of wind for them, but they do well. And then there's compact 16s.
Yes.
There's I've seen McGregors, all kinds of sizes and shapes of McGregors.
Yeah.
Ventures.
Yes.
In the 22-foot range, up to even 26 on the McGregor.
Wow.
There's let's see, what else do we have out there? If I could, my mind's kind of gone blank.
Some Hobies, I'm guessing too.
Surprisingly,
really.
There are a few every year. When you say Hobies, I always think the old
16
footer.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Yet there are some 16s off and on, but there are always tandem islands. And even the singles, what are those called? TIs and
right.
the single Hobies, similar, but there are always quite a number of those. And the primary reason for that is they are excellent boats.
Yeah.
They are excellent boats for this kind of event. If you don't mind being cramped in a forward sitting position, Windrider 17s.
Yes.
There are not Nacras, but Prindles,
right.
Hobie 18s,
right.
Those kinds of things on occasion. Trimarans, home-built trimarans and production trimarans, right. Quite a few that will show up on occasion. There's always going to be Farrier boats and some Corsairs, but I really enjoyed. There was a fellow who had built himself a Crowther 25, I think, or 24.
Oh, wow.
And, you don't see boats like that too often.
No.
He did it several times on that. He's now sold it, and he's in a Corsair, but trimarans and old fixer-upper
all kind of variety. That's
left
amazing.
and right. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and even things like, what are those called? The double enders. Oh, my mind's gone blank. Anyway.
Nordicas, something like that.
A fellow has tried several times on a Nordica. He's never actually got himself started, unfortunately.
Okay.
Either his engine fell off, or his halyard got snagged, or something went wrong. His health was bad for a couple of years. This year, he's going to try to launch at the end and come backwards towards the fleet and meet them and spend a couple of days with them that way, which is called the wrong way sailing.
Okay.
So several people try and do that. They come backwards.
Just to meet people and so on.
Just to meet people and enjoy 1 or 2 nights out there.
Right.
But I've never seen a Nordica, and I'm surprised a Nordica...
They're kind of keel boats, they're small keel boats. So that's that would be difficult for that, I think.
Yeah, there are places, though, that's the issue. The back bays, I never got into this, but I say it's shallow, but it doesn't have to be shallow. Many of these boats have some good-sized keels on them.
Yeah.
And certainly kick up is best, and even shoal keel is better. But you can go to the ICW in the deeper parts of the route, and it can handle all kinds of depth in terms of keel.
Right.
It does limit you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start going in those back bays, you're going to be talking 18 inches and being able to maneuver in that depth,
Right. I think I know the answer to that. What kind of sailing days do you enjoy the most? I think you like windy days. You do like
windy days. I like to be alone. I like sailing with my wife when it's perfect. It has to be perfect for her.
Yes.
And I love it when she's on board and it's perfect for her. I love that. I love seeing how much she enjoys it. But for me, I like being on the edge. I like having a boat that is willing to excite you and has some speed to it. I think this day sailor that I have now, even though it's got a cabin and I've added other things to it, is going to have enough speed on it.
I think it'll be fast. Yeah.
To make it happy, me happy. I hate lumbering along. Although I'll say this, I think one of my most pleasant Texas 200s was when I was becalmed for 2 hours. I think it was in the morning, maybe 3. It went nowhere. There was camp. I couldn't get away from it. And I'd spent the night alone and I couldn't get away from the beach. And then 2 hours later, I felt a breeze. And 3 hours later, I was moving. And it was a gentle breeze all day. And I got to the point where I was in a meditation that I've never experienced since. I had all my sails up, going dead downwind, wind on wing, in squirt. It was just gorgeous.
Wonderful.
I missed the dinner at the end at Magnolia Beach, which is a shrimp boil. I missed it because at 2 hours, you lose 2 hours in the morning. You're not going to make some of these camps,
Right.
And so I missed it. They had already packed up and gone home. But just sailing like that quietly on my own was wonderful.
Yes.
Other times, give me as much wind as you want and make it scary a little bit, not too much.
Capsize?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
No. Okay.
Never.
No.
No such thing as capsize in my vocabulary.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Because I've done it. I've done it. So.
Never.
Okay.
I say there's no reason to run aground. There's no reason to capsize.
Okay.
It's a matter of preparation, concentration, and forethought, and premeditated action before it's necessary. Waiting to the last minute and then having a cleat jam or a jam cleat foul up or the rope crink just at the crucial time. Bad move, be ready.
That's one of the reasons my wife doesn't come on. I scared her, basically.
Yeah. And that is one of the most tragic things.
And it's hard to bring that
do to a family member. You scare them the first time. They will never forgive you.
That's right.
Or come back.
So thank you. It's been great listening to you.
Oh, dear. Thank you.
We have a lot of people listening that are probably going to have questions or interested in this, I think. So small boat
well, I'll tell
trips.
You, the Texas 200 website is well done.
Yes.
Matt Shimmer, who's the president, is actually instrumental probably in wrapping that together in a package that presents it well. If you read through that, every word, and go to the archives and look at histories and videos, you'll get an idea.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook page is pretty darn active. So particularly around, you're closer to the event, the Facebook page is a lot more active than the Salish 100 and even the Everglades Challenge Facebook page,
right.
Which I'm always surprised. Where is everybody on these events? They don't talk. Anyway.
Thank you so much, Eric. It was great having you on.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Nano Cruising Podcast. If you'd like to stay connected, you can join our email list. We also have a very lively Nano Cruising Facebook group. It's a great place to share ideas, get advice, meet new people who love small boat adventures. The easiest way to support us is to spread the word. Tell people about this show and share this show. Really appreciate that. And if you do want to support the show a little further, we also have a Patreon page. Completely optional, but thank you. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, Seize your own adventure.
No winches humming, no engine roar, just a little boat and an open shore. Canvas snapping, the kettle's on. World feels big when the boat feels small. We don't need much, just wind and tide, a charter compass and time to ride. Nano cruising, small boats, big seas, long jet dawn. Go where you please, trailer down, mast goes up, freedom fits in a coffee cup. Nano cruising, cast off the rules, a thirst lies in the smallest hulls. Beach for a harbor, stars for a roof, salt on the deck and stories for proof. From quiet creeks to a weathered bay, if it floats, we're on our way. No marina lights, no golden gate, just the pull of wind and the call to wait. Nano horizon, small boats, big seas, oars and sails, and blistered knees. Simple gear, honest miles, every nod earned every smile. Nano horizon, no place to hide, just you, the boat, and the turning tide. Keel or dagger, lug or gaff, plans go wrong and we laugh. If you can tow it, if you can row, there's a long way left to go. Nano cruising, small boats, big seas, real adventure, no guarantees. If you've dreamed it, if you dare, there's a ramp somewhere out there. Nano cruising, come along, pull the trailer, sing the song.